As these things go, it appears that we're unable to run any water, so we can't open Panda at the IU campus right now. That changes, then I gotta go do something productive. But for right now, let's go review the rest of that script and see how much further we can get. Thanks for tuning in. All this means, all that error meant was that I had an open VirtualBox. It's not a big deal. Launching it manually prevents me from having to run Vagrant Elevated for the first bowl. Doesn't matter. Looks like the VirtualBox is trying to connect out, so I'm gonna go back on mute. As these things go, I already had that machine up and running in the other environment, so I went ahead and destroyed it and recreated it. Let's just see if the script still works from last night and this morning. It never hurts. So it appears our Vagrant file from yesterday runs correctly. The This is one way to address this problem, is running a script. Another entirely would be to use some kind of configuration management, such as, but not limited to, Puppet, Ansible, Salt, etc. Come up with a means by which we can reproduce the host. Also, it would be nice to have a means by which we could ensure conformance, and that's where Puppet is very nice, so we'll go that direction. Let's go see if there's any bind modules for Puppet. I should expect there should be, but this is how I normally would approach this problem space outside of a one-off tooling like we've made here, where we've essentially just made a jig for testing the script in a reproducible manner, so that we can test this again and again and again without having to go to the effort of installing an operating system, there's no clicking. There's nothing of that. We just Vagrant Destroy -F, which forces it. And then Vagrant Up, which will bring the host back up. So that's what we'll do. Let's go out to the Puppet Forge and see if there's anything that we can find module-wise. Okay, so we found a module that does kind of what we want. It's a PDK module, which is kind of nice. The testing suite that's wrapped around it. Managed bind name server and DNS zones. Looks like it's not that recent though. Here's another one. At this point, you're essentially, there's MySQL, there's DNS by the Foreman, which is fairly popular. Where are we looking for? Collect D, name D. Not worried about that. So in looking at these, let's. This one seems to be fairly popular. This one actually has a quality score. Let's take a look at this one. So it's super puppetable, Debian, Ubuntu. What's this one got? This one is supported by all our favorite operating systems: Red Hat, CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu. So it is worth it to consider this because then it's more portable. It's also very recently, documentation's been updated at least. Yeah, released June 2025, so we're in good shape. It's current, supported. Module has been created with Puppet DNS. Primary focus. So the focus of this module has been Enterprise Linux. So, bind server conf, we'll go through and modify everything. This is a very nice means of managing it. Let's see, named forwarders. So this one uses forwarders by default, is what it looks like that configuration does. Not that you have to. I'd be willing to bet that this will allow you to do a recursive lookup against roots. Oh wow, so you can declare multiple zones and views. fancy. Nice documentation. So we could do this. We could go back over. Let's say we go. Bind. Let's make this one, call it bind puppet. Vagrant. What did we do the other night? Vagrant and knit. I think it was Ubuntu. What was it? Zennial 64. Wait. That's gonna fail. So now we could go open, add folder workspace, add the next. Bind puppet, add that. We've got a Vagrant file going in here. So we're kind of done with our bind up there. We got a Vagrant file. Doesn't do anything super useful. Take out that second slash. Save. So what's the fastest way to install Puppet for this? What we could do is we could probably go over and do Vagrant Puppet install module. I've done this in the past using without a Puppet Master. This is the easiest way to go about doing this. Obviously, Puppet needs to be installed in the, but there are a Puppet install for Vagrant module, and this may be it. Other way around. That's Puppet installing Vagrant. I would Vagrant installing Puppet. There we go. Other way around. It's very confusing when you first get into this space because you could have a scenario where you want Puppet to install Vagrant, and I do that. Then there are times like this where you want Vagrant to initialize a Puppet environment for which to do Puppet module apply, and that's what we're using right now. So we're going to look at this module right here, Vagrant plugin that assures. So a Vagrant plugin, which means we can do Vagrant plugin install, Vagrant Puppet install. That's kind of what I was going for. Let's take out that $. I know, we could do Control A. Backspace. Vagrant plugin install, Vagrant Puppet install. Allow it to go out to gems.hashicorp.com and rubygems.org. And again, this is reasoning from first principles, from nothing, essentially. How I would go about the process of doing what that script does in a slightly more portable and in a more portable way, and having the advantage of being able to go through and ensure conformance to the Puppet policies. So we've installed that plugin. Now how do we use it? Config. So they do a very Puppet thing, and they validate. You can turn it off if you have a slow interwebs. Let's go ahead and do the config Puppet. Config Puppet underscore install dot Puppet underscore version equal colon latest. We don't have a particular version that we're looking to do. And then they have acceptance tests, which we aren't worried about because we're not developing on the module itself. So config Puppet install. Wait, it's the wrong place to put that. So we have config VMbox. We'd say config Puppet install version latest, and then quite a ways down. I haven't decided if we're going to do a manual Puppet apply run, but for right now, it seems like it would be really prudent for us to come back through and see. They have custom install script hooks. So let's see what we get when we pull this one up. So we're in Bind Puppet, Vagrant up. So we import our base Ubuntu host, Xennial64. Get some NAT out of the way. Rekey our Vagrant connection. Connect and then rekey. There we go. Machine booted and ready. Mounting shared folders. So note that it maps our user JSON browser project's bind Puppet to our /Vagrant directory internally. That's kind of one of those hooks that we rely upon. We expect to be there. You could override, but the cool thing is, if you edit that directory on the virtual machine, it edits it locally. So if you delete a file from that directory in the virtual machine like we did last night, of course it deletes it locally. But I still had that file open in the editor, so it was fairly simple to remediate. So here we see Puppet 3 is no longer hosted as a repo by Puppet. So wget our. So it looks like it expects Enterprise Linux 7, EL7, an RPM in a Ubuntu environment. This is probably not going to end well, and as we expected, it did not. So it barfs some terrible errors. So maybe we do need to specify the version. So we go out and we say Puppet current version, and we go 8.10.0. So let's go back here. 8.10.0. It's always safest to version by to lock to a specific version. That way, as you run the script, as you run the manifest, as you pull up the Vagrant host, it doesn't change anything over time. So we went ahead and saved that. We're gonna go Vagrant revision. Since we haven't really done anything that's unexpected fraction part after numeric literal. Do you not expect the version number? You expect a integer version number? Well, that's a different error. Let's see, Vagrant failed to initialize, syntax error. I saved my file. I see what it's doing. It doesn't have a current version of the file out there. So Vagrant, destroy F, and then Vagrant up. Forces it off the host, Vagrant, and you can see that we no longer have that as a host here locally. Oh, hey, bind is still running. Not that we particularly care. So stop, power off. I don't care about this host. I'm going to delete it anyway because we have the recipe by which we made it. So let's go back to Vagrant up. This should be a different result. Hopefully they wanted an integer version. So config puppet install puppet version 8. It still is blowing up similarly. Okay. Puppet install 700. Undefined match for instance of integer. So let's try 7. Is that the latest thing this supports? Let's try that. Vagrant up. Yeah, it's a little slow workflow at first because you have to assemble the components that build the thing. But once you have a baseline for that, instance of integer, undefined method match for instance of integer. What are you expecting here? The version must be listed in the Ruby gems. 8.10.0. Let's try that. 8. And let's Vagrant destroy, Vagrant up, because it didn't take that long. Again, it's doing this, so do I need to string it? Probably. String converted to matchy match, Vagrant up. Hey, it's happier with that. Booting VM, reset key. Okay, mounting share folders, VirtualBox version. Oh, wow. So we provided a Puppet 8.10.0 package, and all we get is this critical error. That makes no sense. Oh my. Issues. It's no longer used as of 2023. So it looks like it last worked with 270, something along those lines. Which is not even vaguely current. This module's no good for us. Let's see what else we got. I'm not interested. Okay, where is our puppet? Let's look out on GitHub. Puppet module for Vagrant. Deprecated. Tiny puppet. Let's see. Trying to avoid doing the hard work. Let's see if there's a... Again, this gentleman, Joaquin Menchaca. Joaquin Menchaca seems to have covered this. Puppet Master was Vagrant to pull your DevOps strings. No. No. So how are you folks going about this? VirtualBox, Vagrant. That is not what I wanted. Yeah, they're doing it the hard way. So let's go ahead and do it the hard way. And then let's clean up by removing that Vagrant plugin. Remove. Uninstall. Uninstall. Okay, we removed that. So now, let's take out this. We could probably do a shell I don't like to do it this way, but we could do a shell configurator. Yeah, I mean, we could do it this way. So here we have an inline shell script, and we say apt-get update And then we do apt-get install. So puppet install. Yeah. We were trying to install a Nix agent. So they're saying just use the package, the distribution maintainers package. So we shall do that. We aren't going to launch the whatever, so it should just be apt-get install puppet agent. And of course we got Dr. Sudo there, Dr. Soido. Let's go ahead and Vagrant plugin destroy, or Vagrant destroy F. Bring the host up, Vagrant up. So you've already seen where I've saved time is I've already validated a couple of methodologies that don't work, or that aren't going to work for our use cases. Perhaps they work in other environments. But seeing as how the original ask appeared to be on Ubuntu, write a script or come up with a methodology by which you can ensure that bind is installed. And ideally, this is the last tenant configured securely, which we kind of agree that there is room for improvement upon what we've got going on here. So unable to locate puppet agent. We get our updates okay, but we're able to get puppet agent. Huh. Oh. Now they put Puppet behind a paywall. Let's access Puppet Core. Yeah, not super worried. I'm not interested in licensing this stuff. I just want to show how to use it. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Puppet server. Wow. You have to add the repo. What happened to the community maintained version? Okay. Yeah, I didn't think they'd rely upon the package maintainers versions. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're just going to have outdated software in no time that way. So apt. We need to add this. Ubuntu add Puppet core repository. Yeah, AI is suggesting depackage. That's great if you already have the. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. There we go. Puppet documentation. First result. Again, AI, not right. AI is trying to run down the wrong rabbit hole, the wrong direction. Enable the Puppet core repositories on app. Download package and run depackage tool. Oh, man. Okay, wget content disposition package URL sudo depackage file name.deb. So this is kind of what I'm frustrated by. Why are you... Yep, open source is what this is built upon. But they're making us... this is not a good model. It may make me change the way I automate things. Open source Puppet. Why are you making me register? I don't want to register. I know what I'm doing. And they use Slack. I mean, come on. This is what bugs me the most about it. The Forge is entirely community-driven module construction, right? I mean, yes, they do have supported modules which are vetted, and oftentimes those vetted modules are picked up by Puppet via people who stop maintaining the software. So someone will write a module for work, they'll use it at work, and then work's requirements shift, so they no longer need that module. That module sits out on GitHub. Puppet goes, and as we saw earlier, asks very politely, "Hey, can we use this?" We saw that module that was being used by, where was it? Yeah, it's deprecated, and we'll see that under issues there was a, well, this wasn't it. Where were we earlier? Yeah, the issue out here, do you want to donate this repo to Vox Populi? This is how the Puppet ecosystem is being grown now, unfortunately. Abandoned modules are acquired by Puppet. They're placed into the Puppet Forge, and they'll be listed as modules that are available from Puppet under the Vox Populi name. So what was it? Pupuli. Yeah, Pupuli. So let me find an example of these. It may take me a moment. So the Puppet ecosystem is built upon all these modules that are acquired by by maintainers of other people's code. So it really kind of breaks my mind that I can't just go and install Puppet Agent, the community edition, with ease. Like, why do I need to register to be able to do this? It's frustration. But we may play ball here in a moment if and things don't make sense here in a moment. So to be able to even call this, I believe they were asking for authentication. Yeah, curl U username password. artifactspuppecore.com or artifactspuppecore.puppet.com. So to be even able to begin reasoning about these things, we have to, CLI clients can only be used to download only Puppet Agent packages, and that's fine. We're okay using a Puppet Agent in the Puppet Agent package. So let's see what happens here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and log in. I should probably stop sharing my screen for a moment. Here, enjoy my face while I do this. Let me log into things. And I may have to reset my password. Who knows? It's tough to say at this point in the day what's going to be required to be able to make this happen. We shall get this. The cool thing is once I have a base, once I have a process going again, we're reasoning for first principles. So former employers, you are not able to sue me. I'm using a laptop that I purchased for $700 off of eBay. An older Intel MacBook is in the budget, and we're using puppetlabs.com. Well, this is no longer puppetlabs.com. Yeah, I forgot password. Have to do the password reset. Let's hope it's not still associated with Optiv. And thus far, I've not seen it come through. Goodness. Okay, so I'm not registered despite having. Let's go to puppetlabs.com and see if I'm able. Nope, it redirects. So it's been long enough since I've wrangled puppets to. Wow, I literally have to create a new account. Let's generate a password. Okay. Let's put the password in twice. I'm no robot. I accept the user account created. Okay, back to Puppet Forge. Cool. So, login. Credentials. User's not been confirmed. Alright, check email. Wait for email to show up. Check spam. Make sure spam is not. It's in spam. Report not spam. Click on link. Use token. Log in. Copy credentials. Paste credentials. Okay, we're logged in. Okay, it found me. So let's go ahead and let's go back to, yeah, it's very bright, but yeah, let's go back to sharing our screen. There we are. Oh, wow. You guys can see a lot. There's all sorts of stuff going on behind me. Okay, so let's minimize this. Darn. Y'all saw my password database. Alright, so we got the email confirmed. Puppet Forge. We're out on the Puppet Forge. So how on earth do I take this? Oh wow, it tracks modules downloaded. API keys, so enable MFA. Wow, that's kind of them. Product SKU ELA. Okay. Yeah, what? Puppet is a wholly owned subsidiary of Perforce. Oh, wow. So who is Perforce? What have I just given them? I don't particularly care what they did with it, but why is... Wow. Yeah, they're not assuming any liability for the use of anything out of the Puppet module, the Puppet Forge, because it's all customer submitted data. It's open source, so I'm kind of politically opposed to the licensing that they're providing us. Keep confidential, and to use only for purposes of performing its obligations under the agreement. Any confidential information of the other party disclosed pursuant to the agreement. I'm really not digging this. I'm not even supposed to tell you about this agreement at this point, and we're doing it on a live stream, so puppet be damned. Here we are. Term and termination. They can terminate. I can terminate. We can terminate. We can terminate. We can terminate. We can make romance. These additional product terms apply to the customer's license of Puppet Core, the software. But I don't want Puppet Core. I want the open source Puppet. They did this to VMware a long time ago. The lawyers kind of put ESX, the Community Edition, the ESX iServer Community Edition under behind their authentication and paywall mechanisms. So you had to go through the process of acquiring a license to use the Community Edition of ESXi. I think that's the model that they've taken after. So Exhibit A, core additional product terms. Puppet Edge, capability extension of the Puppet platform designed to automate, govern, and ensure compliance across network edge. This sounds an awful lot like you're trademarking SSH and curl. That's really kind of weird that somebody would trademark SSH and curl, the use of those. But okay. So I suppose Puppet Enterprise. No. Puppet training, Puppet development, Puppet module, documentation, all modules, supported modules. Publish a module. No. I have to enable MFA. I don't even care about this thing. Why do I have to? Oh, this frustrates me so much. I don't even care about this. Why do I have to actually manage your second factor authentication token for you? Because you know it's going to be some kind of token or something. Or maybe they'd use email, but I doubt it. So I want Puppet Community. I don't care about Slack. I want the Community Edition. Why would you call Puppet Community? Oh, wow. The frustration is they're making it as difficult as possible to use Puppet. So let's go back. So they want us to curl those credentials. Okay. What if we do it this way? Puppet Community Edition installation guide. No, it doesn't. I just want the Puppet agent. I don't understand it because I do not use this the way that they do. I really don't particularly care to install. I don't need the server. I don't need port 8140. I don't need NTP. I don't need any of that. By installing the Puppet Dash agent via apt. We tried that. Puppet Dash agent sudo. We asked su to install apt-get install Puppet Dash agent. Unable to locate package puppet agent. Right. So add repository. Cool. wget. I hate using AI. Download, install, release package for your OS. wget. I don't know what. Probably Xennial. Yeah, probably Xennial. I'm keeping an eye out because in theory, it may be working. So let's go out here. Let's see if they have one for Puppet 6, 7, 8. Released Bionic through Noble. Xennial. There we go. So you can run Puppet 7. That's fine. Copy link. Let's go back over here. This is so pathetic. Let's work out at home still. wget and depackage. Let's make sure we're going along with the and depackage just shy. Puppet 7 release Xennial. .deb. So that should get us the install. Yeah, run update. We'll move our update from here to here. So we run sudo apt-get update and then sudo apt-get install Puppet agent. That should work according to the directions. Vagrant destroy, Vagrant up. Let's see, Vagrant up. So that calls the shell provisioner to install, to get the Puppet Labs, Puppet 7 release, which is fine. Puppet 7 should do just fine. There's not any major advances that we are concerning ourselves with. Now, if we were using a Puppet agent to contact a Puppet master, not a fan of the terminology, but that's where we would be. I don't know why they don't call it a Puppet server, and did that fail? Nope, that succeeded. Reading package list. Signatures were key expired. Repository is not signed. Don't care. Puppet agent installed. Can't authenticate. Cannot authenticate. So we can do this two ways. The easiest would be to use yes. So let's try that. Let's just run the provisioner. Because in this case we can use the provisioner, because we haven't really done anything that's one way to this machine. If it reinstalls, it reinstalls. If it doesn't, I don't care. Fetched it. We should probably do yes again here. Yes, pipe. So let's run provisioner for the third time and see if it's successful. Key expired. It's not signed. We don't care. Puppet agents installed. So Vagrant destroyed. Let's do this from. Let's start this over from nothing, just to validate the entire process. Vagrant. And if you haven't used it, yes is a very useful shell command. Yes has options. So you may configure yes to say no. You also can modify the way yes passes the parameters, such as yes, to the program that you're calling. So I know that's not very eloquent to say, but you may configure yes to say no. Alright, so now we should be able to do Vagrant SSH, and we should also be able to ask it to Puppet apply. And it should go, well, we got nothing to do, so we're not going to do anything productive. It should point out that it has no manifest. If it hasn't changed much since the last time I used it, it should point out we don't have a manifest, we haven't asked it to do anything, but it has complied and the post is in compliance. Puppet apply should return 1. Come on. Pokes it with a stick. The reason I want to see it do a Puppet apply run, I want to make sure that they haven't changed the fundamental mechanism. I want to make sure they haven't changed the core tenets of the logic that they use. Namely, I want to make sure that, generally speaking, unless something happened where it fell off and it's completely wrong, Puppet should return a positive value. Yeah, Puppet verbose help. So Puppet help. Yes, Puppet apply is still present. Let's see. Puppet. So I should be able to do this interactively. Puppet module. So Puppet module, we can dynamically install it from the Puppet Forge, which probably is going to require some silly authentication and or use of an API key, which I'm just not a fan of. I really would almost, at that point, I'd rather wget the module locally, put it in the project so I own it, and then do a Puppet apply run. That's beside the point. So Puppet module action, environment production, we don't really care. and module paths. So it does still allow for me to have a module locally developed run against the local host. Typically what I would do is I would use Vagrant to map a directory to my project. Under my project's root, I would create a directory called Puppet. And under Puppet, I would have a modules directory, and the Puppet modules directory would be mapped to the module path that you see highlighted here. So then we run Puppet module apply -- module path and then we would specify the particulars of anything else that we were looking to configure. So let's take a look at what happens when we do search path for modules. We would pump in the module directory, allow it to clone it locally. So that way we have two things going on here. We have a immutable module library that's locally held. We could dynamically reach out every time and go to GitHub and pull down, but the problem is you just consume bandwidth and waste CPU cycles. We don't really need to do that. We know where the files are. They aren't going to change a whole lot between now and tomorrow and perhaps the day after. I realize my battery's about to die. I'm at 6%, so I'm going to move that way, and we're going to continue this. Goodness, no wonder I'm so cold. I'm next to a door. There we are. So let's go back, grab a battery charger out of the backpack. There we are. Have a dedicated pouch for chargers. Have headphones if I wanted to change the microphone, which I might. I don't know. So let's go ahead and attach the laptop to the power, thusly. The USB cable goes into the computer. And now we should have a little bit brighter display. There we go. That's kind of nice. Okay, it appears that we're still not working, so let's see. We have Puppet module action. So we'll do Puppet module install.
Did someone say something, or did they just walk in?
They just walked in. I don't know what's going on. Are we doing the things? You won't, abandon me, right? C'est la vie. I don't get it at this point. We may as well not be here because it doesn't appear that we're going to be able to get a full service in regardless. I'm next to a set of doors that are opening and closing, so I'm going to throw on my jacket. Let's see. So out on our host that now has Puppet installed after all my complaining, whatever that is. Again, this used to be the last when I was using Puppet actively. There was a smoother build process because there was a Vagrant module that was maintained that allowed you to just simply specify the version of Puppet that you're trying to install, and it goes out and provided it's in that list of gems, provided it's in the Ruby gem list of versions, it was quite easy to install. I don't know why Puppet themselves would no longer approve that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So again, Puppet help.
No. Yep. Do you have any desire to work over in the tower this evening?
I can if you want. I don't have a particular desire to.
No?
No, they didn't. Yeah, yeah.
He said he can't work over there tonight anyway. Okay. Yeah, I've been busy with Chick-fil-A too. I don't know. Yeah. So I just talked to him here in person. He's got other stuff going on where he can't stay over there tonight. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's our game plan?
I'm trying to find out. They were supposed to come back here and talk to you guys.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Jason, I ain't seen you all week.
I know. Where you been? You couldn't come in because you have kids, right? So I figured you were at home. Yeah, I was off for 2 days doing training and stuff.
Where am I husband?
They just all disappeared, and then Andy came out. So I was like,
Did you guys come back here? The panda folks keep coming up to me. Did you guys find anything for them?
I was over at Towers on Monday.
Right. And do we have the ability to do that type of cleaning now?
The boys were just all over here. I see you sitting there.
I say I moved over here, and they all ran away. I don't know. I must smell bad or something. But like I said, I came over here, I sat down, and then Andy came out. So I'm like, what are we doing?
So what do you want to do?
I have no clue. There's one of us. Hey, Kishana.
I think it's
I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing.
I was going to be. Back, I heard something about cleaning. You have the ability to clean. Get my teeth. Just how I always do.
Wait, I'm drinking. Who else are we missing? Jamie, is that it? Okay. So here are the options that you guys have. There's basically two at this point. So they are still working on the drain thing. You can leave now, but you only get paid for the time that you were here. And this is all based on the way like the contract's written. This is someone coming up with a gap on that too. So you can leave now and just get paid for what you were here on the clock. Or you can stay and actively help sweep and mop the floors back there. We can mop at this point. We just have to dump the mop water down this drain. We can't do that. So with that, that includes like making sure we're sweeping, we're pulling stuff out from the walls, sweeping underneath it, mopping, getting like the baseboards and everything like that as well. So and the words where you have to actively be working, so that doesn't mean that you make an appearance. Not that any of you would, I'm just saying the words like out loud.
Right.
We don't expect anyone to kill himself doing the work either, but at the same time, it's not, I'm going to mop the floor, I'm going to go and hide for a minute. So those are the options, and with that, you're guaranteed at least 4 hours worth of work. Potentially more than that, so those are the options. I'll give you guys a moment on your own. I'm going to be in Chick-fil-A, so do let me know before you leave, if you do leave, what your plan is, or if you choose to clean, let me know that's your plan as well.
Okay, I'm gonna cut
Yep.
bait. Yeah, I'm done.
Tomorrow, plan on coming in at normal time unless
Okay.
you're told otherwise. We don't know anything yet, honestly. So just plan on what a normal time would be for tomorrow. If that's not the plan, then we'll text tonight. So obviously, make sure you keep an eye on your phone. But plan on business as usual until you hear otherwise tonight.
Okay.